And today we get to put some decals on the vehicle. We'll see if I already put the scoop decal on. Our good friend Cam made that up for us. Had to practically force her to take some money for that. You can see we're just getting the measurements in place. First one is on. So you'll see the first decal is on. And here's a couple of do's and don'ts when putting decals. First of all, area needs to be ultra clean. You'll see there's still water on the floor to trap dust. Still in the cocoon, that surface needs to be ultra clean. And if you got your decals stored away, you're going to have dust building up on this. So you need to make sure that the surface areas are all clean. Second one is lubrication. You need this dishwashing liquid. I kind of overdo it. I've put this in yesterday and I've only come and taken out the bubbles today. The reason for that is the measurement. Even if you need to measure 50 times before you put that on, you need to get it quite accurate. And that's the reason I've got that dishwashing liquid on there. And when it comes to the measurement, you need to be accurate. The third one is this layer. You've got two layers. One is at the bottom that you take off to place on the vehicle, and then you've got a layer on the top here which you only take off after you make sure that it's set in place. If you take this top layer off, especially with accurate gapping, you're gonna stuff this entire thing up. This you take off in the last, when you're absolutely sure that everything is placed on accurately and nothing is going to move, then you can take this last layer off. Then the fourth one is getting those bubbles out. So you'll see a lot of the guys using plastic. If you have to put that plastic directly onto that, you're going to scratch that. So what I tend to do is you just use a cloth and you put that, you encase the plastic in the cloth, and then you can start taking off. So it's much more gentle. You can use your fingers as well. That's much more gentle as well, and then you can take the bubbles off the decals. Otherwise you just end up scratching that decals. This is much stronger, good quality decal, so I didn't have an issue, but you could come across much thinner decals that's going to give you a bit of an issue. Maybe just one last thing. You'll see I split that top layer in two, and the rule of thumb is you don't interfere with the top layer until you're absolutely sure that your vinyl is laid down perfectly. The reason that I split the top is you've got this air bubbles, and in shipment, when they roll it up and box it out, that doesn't become equal distance now when you're laying this down. So if you cut that and split it in two, makes it much more easier, and it allows you to keep all your lettering and stripes equal distance when you're laying it down. It makes quite a big difference. And again, I cannot overemphasize the part of cleanliness. I found a grain of sand on that front fender and I had to remove it. Just one grain of sand, 60 micron, is just enough to spoil the entire day. Just be very careful on the cleanliness side. You can use a heat gun to speed up the process. I tend not to, unless it's around complex shapes like around here. You'll have to use a heat gun if you're putting a decal around that. You just need to be very careful with the heat. You will damage the decal very quickly. You want to kind of gauge the heat by having your hand between the heat gun and the decal itself.